Hi, everybody. It's Wednesday, 1 o'clock. Happy to see all of you. Looks like a good day. Haven't looked outside for a little while, but looks like a good day. Hope you're all doing well, staying healthy, most of all. Got a few things, some of which are on the agenda already, and some of which will be new. So to begin, the vaccination process has begun. It was a little bit clunky, I have to say, in the beginning, but I think we're kind of like on a roll. I really do appreciate all of you who have put in your information into the Google Doc. And we don't control anything about this process except forwarding names when we're asked. So I'm hoping that all of this process continues and that we can get everyone who opts into the vaccination to get vaccination done, either through the UH list thing or through your own providers. What has changed in the last day is the need for us all to sign out for leave. So whether we get vaccination through the UH system or get vaccination through our own private provider, if we're getting vaccinated during work hours, we need to make sure that our supervisors have approved that, and that eventually, once the system catches up, we will sign out for, I think it's called administrative leave vaccine on the online system. So all of those of us who get vaccinated will need to put in a request for 2 hours of leave, and that will be approved by our supervisors. What questions do you have about any of that right now before we move any further? Question?
Luis, can
Yes.
you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. We got an email from the system yesterday, I believe, and then it was on the announcements today at UH Manoa about the different levels of phase 1B vaccinations. And apparently most of us fall into the number 4 out of 4 available groups. Any more news on that? They didn't really go into it in too much detail.
No, nothing other than what was put in that. So if you look at the tiers, they really are hoping to prioritize people who are having face-to-face contact with individuals.
Okay, thank you.
Full-time faculty need to submit the leave. Lecturers, no need to submit leave. I don't know. Anybody from HR on the call that could answer that? Since lecturers don't, sorry, go Darsh.
We still haven't received full details regarding who needs to put in leave, but I would imagine lecturers would not be the one because they don't have access to the leave system.
Right.
But about faculty, once we'll get more update, we'll definitely announce it via CNC. So we'll keep you updated.
Still not clear, huh? Yep. Planning, that's what we're good for. Okay. Question to put chat is fine. Wanted to let you know that we will be having professional development activities on March 5th. That is our former Excellence in Ed Day, more recently HSSI. And the campus is organizing activities, most related to assessment. Thank you to the SLOA committee for that. It is a non-instructional day, but it is a work day. So faculty and staff are expected to either participate in this professional development activity, expected to participate, or the option then is to do work. Given the nature of what the SLOA committee is putting together, I would highly value your participation in those activities. There's also been some discussions of continuing the cross-campus conversations that are related to the system discussions about consolidations and curriculum alignment. They, I think, are going to be hoping to get some time on Friday as well. But I know that everyone, every campus is pretty much choosing to have campus events that day too. So I'm not sure if there will be time for those cross-campus meetings. But those of you who have been involved in those phase 1 discussions or are starting phase 2, there may be a call out to see if you have time to meet at some point in that day, maybe probably in the afternoon, I'm thinking. Okay. Any questions about that? Okay. Every year, the university has a major campaign for the Hawaii Food Bank. And I'm looking at Stan right now. So Stan knows these things. We are going to be participating in Food Bank, and you know well, having seen all of those food distribution points ever since the pandemic hit, that food and food insecurity is something that a lot of people are truly worried about. So the campaign this year is more important than ever. And we will be coordinating events on the campus. And so if there's any one of you who would really like to be the lead coordinator for our food bank campaign, please email me. And if you could email me before Tuesday next week, that would be great. I'll also put an announcement in the news and events so that if someone isn't on the call and really wants to be the coordinator, then they'll know that there is an opportunity for them to do that too. And 75th anniversary, I'm happy to see some of you with your screens. I bought a green screen. I'm waiting for it to be delivered just so that I can put on my virtual background and have my 75th behind me. On Friday morning, starting at 6:15 a.m., we will have a protocol ceremony that Nava'a is going to lead to mark the commencement of our year of anniversary. And it's on February 12th because that is the commemoration day for King Kalakawa's coronation. And we will be having a ceremony, and because of social distancing, it's going to be very limited in terms of who's going to be there in person on that morning, but we will be filming, and the video will be made available to the campus so you could see. And if you do come and hang out, I cannot stop you, but we will be following CDC guidelines and all of that for the event. Also, you should be seeing very soon, invitation only for participation, yes. But if you're on campus, I can't stop you from watching. It's at 6:15, it's going to begin, but you will not be allowed to participate. Live streaming, no. We're not going to be doing live streaming, sorry, Angela. But in fact, Alex is going to be in there in the participation. So he will have a front row seat. Polo shirts, t-shirts with the 75th logo will be, the order form will be available soon. And pre-orders will be $20 for the polo shirt and $10 for the t-shirt. And if you miss the pre-order, it will cost you more. But you should be seeing that soon, the order form. And I have, there was a question that was sent and put on the agenda. It's about a mail distribution. So I think Sean Nathan is on the call and he is going to provide the answer.
Yep, present.
Go, Sean.
So as far as mail schedules go, Kevin is okay. Fair enough. That is Tony Stark masquerading as Sean Nathan. um. Oh, my memory is so fragile. Okay. So Kevin is back. He's not quite at full strength, but he is back all the same. So he is making the rounds and whatnot, with, you know, catching places to pick up and bring down and get mail out. Any issues that he runs into typically just relate to the weight of any packages, whether that's outgoing or incoming. And if he comes across anything that's on the heavier side, then we just work together, either myself or some other folks from auxiliary, or, you know, even people from around the campus just bump into him and it's convenient and they offer, then he's just kind of getting assistance in that way with just picking them, lifting them, dropping them into wherever, and handling the transaction that way. But I do see that there's some suggestions for a designated day for each building. I guess I'm actually not totally sure what that suggestion is supposed to refer to, or a central drop-off point on campus where mail could be taken, with assurance that it would be delivered within 24 hours. So I'm open to, you know, discussion if that's something that folks are interested in. Is a centralized place for like priority items to go. You know, people are always more than welcome to bring things down here to us directly. We've seen some of that in the last few weeks where folks had things that were just high priority items and they needed to make darn sure that they got out that day. They wouldn't wait for the pickup. They would just come down, hand it to us directly. But, you know, we can look at maybe a locker type situation, put that somewhere on campus, and then I can just work with all of our mail providers like UPS, USPS, FedEx, to, you know, to know like, okay, add this to your route when you come to this campus. Make sure you stop by this certain location where there's a locker and pick up and remove the contents and get them out that day.
But Sean, regular pickup and delivery should be back on track now.
Yes. I really have nothing else to say to that. He's been back. You know, I think maybe one day last week, he had to leave early, but he still took care of his pickups that day. Yeah, the only blips we've been running into are the weight limitations in terms of what he can and cannot lift right now. But as far as making the rounds, yeah, that's been back to status quo.
Okay. And there are issues with deliveries, right? Sometimes.
Yeah, we have ongoing issues with deliveries where for one reason or another, they give us a different person on the route. And instead of bringing it directly to us so that we can take it up to the campus, the person tries to deliver directly to the building. That led to a number of instances of packages just disappearing or
Yeah.
going to the wrong locations. Yeah.
So right now the protocol for UPS and FedEx is to deliver to Olapur.
Right. Everything. Yeah, we have 122 is head now. I'm going to pick up for a week. I'm aware that mail has been coming down from Kawila.
You're getting private messages, I can tell.
Oh, was that private? Yep, yeah, it was. Oh well.
I think if your department is having particular issues, I think you may want to just give Sean a call to figure out what's going on. But for now, Kevin is back, and so regular mail pickup and delivery should be as usual. And protocol is UPS and FedEx are to deliver to Olapua. If there's something else going on in your department that's not according to those things, could you give Sean a call? And Lavashe says, is there a place where mail that is not picked up or you aren't sure of where the person is located goes? I like that concatenation of verbs. Lavashe, you want to unmute yourself and ask the question?
I was just curious if there's like a place that missing things might go, because we're missing some things we were expecting and we're just not sure how to locate it.
Okay, so
Or if we should like cancel the checks and things like that.
gotcha. Have you tried reaching out to Kevin about this yet?
Not yet. I think it
Okay.
was, yeah.
Okay, so I would start there.
Directly.
If you don't mind emailing Kevin, copy myself on there, so that we can try and just take a peek around, see if it's, misplaced under a bin somewhere around here. But to answer your question in general terms, the mail room is pretty much where it's the hub. So everything ideally should be going in there. We've run into this problem where mysteriously things don't get to the right place, and we're still not exactly sure what's going on. Kevin knows every office on this campus a heck of a lot better than I do. So I know that during the time he was out and I was trying to cover for him, there were times where I didn't know where certain people were. So I was actually relying on Gene to try and call some offices and say, hey, come on down, pick it up, stuff like that. But yeah, I would recommend contacting Kevin directly, copy myself on there. Let's see if we can find it. And then at
Thank
least
you
that
so
way we can
much.
advise you.
Thanks, Sean. Other questions for Sean? Lavashe, while you're there, you want to do a plug for February 12th?
Sure. We thank you everyone for getting the word out about the Ohana Produce Plus food distribution this Friday. It filled up within 6 hours of us opening the form to students. So thank you very much for getting that word out. We are full. We are expecting enough for 285 people. We have about 225 students signed up, and then the rest will go to Waikiki Community Center to the kupuna there. So thank you so much for that. We still are in need of a few more volunteers. So if you have some time on Friday, we have 2 shifts, but if you're not available for the entire shift, we're happy to have you for any amount of time that you're available. And I can put that in the chat again.
Thanks. Questions for Lavashe about the food distribution on Friday? Okay, great. Maria's got some things to share. But before Maria gets on to share, I would like to lead us in a happy birthday for Maria. Today is Maria's birthday. So
Yay!
unmute yourself on the count of 3. We're singing happy birthday. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday,
dear
Maria.
Happy birthday to you.
You.
Thank you, guys. Hey, you know that was recorded, right?
Yes.
Yeah, next time we'll do it in unison.
Thank you all. Okay, what I wanted to share is for the summer and the fall schedule. We got a directive that we can offer classes as face-to-face, hybrid, or online. But again, we would prefer that it still be offered online as much as possible because we do not know, how COVID is gonna affect our schedule again if we have to. You know what we did last fall, right? A lot of courses were offered face to face, and then we had to change it all to online, and that was a miss. Also, if you are going to offer courses as face-to-face or any face-to-face component for the course, like for example, a hybrid course, that needs approval all the way to from the chancellor. So we are going to be sending out a form to the department chairs that they can share with the faculty. So faculty can put in their request, and that is going to be collected on a spreadsheet, and that's going to be sent all the way up to the deans for approval, and then the chancellor for approval. So it's not a done deal. So, but as you develop, for the department chairs, as you develop your schedule, please wait for this thing first before you input anything about these classes that are going to be requesting for any face-to-face component, because you will have to change things again in Banner if it was approved or disapproved. That's all I have. I'll be sending out the form pretty soon. Thank you.
Questions for Maria?
Maria,
Yep.
what about courses that have been running hybrid or face-to-face, like science labs? We still have to resubmit them?
Yeah, just for the record, so that we have a record of what classes are actually have been approved as face-to-face.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That was my question too, Maria. If we've been meeting face to face with most of our nursing labs, because I don't remember doing this process for this semester. So you're
Yeah, we
talking
did not.
about fall, right? And
For
then
summer and fall. Summer and fall, yeah.
Okay.
Because we just want to get to have a record of what classes have actually been approved as face-to-face, because this past semester, courses were being approved by the deans and classes were being offered face-to-face, but sometimes when Brian would need data on what classes are being used or where they are, it's like we don't know. We had to go back to STAR and look for all of the data that is needed, so that the rooms can be cleaned and all of those things. So if we have this already as approved and we have the list, then it's going to be a lot easier for us.
I figured it was related to AC and rooms and,
Yeah,
and all of that. So yeah, we'll look forward because we're trying to do the whole Banner thing now, right? With pot code madness and so yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. It's not going to change for those who have been, you need it for the classes to run, for the student success. It's not, it's going to be approved, but it's just that so that we have a record of what has been offered as face-to-face or hybrid.
Other questions for Maria? Okay. Noel?
Thank you.
Thanks, Maria.
So I just wanted to give some quick numbers, and we can send this email out later about some of the numbers from the CARES distribution to students. So this was CARES 1, if you guys remember, this past year. We awarded about $1 million to students. So some quick numbers, just so you guys can get some quick feedback. Anyway, when we identified the students who were CARES eligible, again, the biggest indicator we were using was Title IV. So 3,892 students were identified and 2,031 students were receiving the awards. The biggest question will be how come that 1,000 students didn't get the award? Long answer, really short, and you can make whatever assumptions we want to about this, is the student who was identified didn't click on the email to then be awarded the money. It was quite a simple task, and some students chose not to because they felt that they didn't need it, and some students may have missed the email altogether. But scrolling down the list really quickly. Okay, so basically, I'm going to run through some numbers. Full-time students, 637 were Pell Grant recipients, 557 were non-Pell Grant recipients. Part-time students, 364 were Pell Grant, 453 were Pell Grant. All right, and then I'm going to skip to the last part, which is probably what we're more interested in. Out of all the students who received CARES funding, 141 students dropped out in that same semester that they received the funds. So this could have been spring 20 or fall 20, right? It was those 2 semesters. Out of the students who received the funds, about 1,600 were still enrolled in the college. Out of those who received the funds, 276 completed whatever program of study they're at. This would include both degrees as well as certificates. In the end, there's about a 7% withdrawal rate for students who receive the HERF emergency financial aid grants, right? So if you all remember, basically we gave you the money and we didn't really want it back. So if you disenrolled, we told you just keep the money because life is kind of difficult right now. All right, I will send you the more complete report so you can kind of look through the numbers. It's just numbers though, there's no rationale behind it. So it's just a raw report for reporting purposes. With that being said, there's going to be new funds coming our way. It's no longer called CARES. It is called CRRSA, CRRSSA. And if anybody from the SALT meeting is here, they can put what it means because I totally forgot what it meant. Anyway, we're going to get the same amount, about $1 million to award directly to students. This CRRSA funds is a little bit more lenient. The biggest changes that has been made is, for one, students who are only enrolled in online courses are now eligible to receive the funds. So last time around, you had to be enrolled in hybrid or in-person or one of those C19 ones to actually be identified. This time, the colleges can freely award anybody who just enrolled in school. The other big one is you don't have to be Title IV eligible, right? How we identify that is going to be a little tricky, but as of right now, you don't have to be Title IV eligible. The last question that I know will come up is international students are not eligible for the CRRSA funds. So I know that was the other thing that really affects our student population, but unfortunately it will not. At this time, we are doing a bunch of recommendations between the vice chancellors, the CASAL level, in consultation with the chancellors to somehow find the magical balance and how we can award this as a system. All right. We're awarding this as a system because none of us really want to be caught up at the end trying to do these reports. It's actually a lot easier if it's centralized. The big problem, again, because we're centralized and doing this as a system, every school has a different set amount of funds. So how we do this together is really challenging, right? For a campus who has $1 million to expend versus a campus who has 500,000. So similar challenges, a lot of lessons learned. When more details come out, I will let you know, especially when we figure out when we're actually going to distribute this to the students. And that is it. So again, moving forward, we are talking about CRRSA funds, right? CARES is kind of an old term now, so not to be confused, although I might confuse it later on. CRRSA. And that's all updates I have.
Questions for Noel? Okay. That's it for one-way communication from our side. What questions do you folks have or announcements you'd like everybody to know about? You can put questions in the chat or you can unmute yourself.
Okay, I guess I will go. Hi, everyone. This is Roman. I wanted to share something that the Board of Student Activities in Congress did. As some of you may know, they've been doing this series called the Blue Table Talk. So I wanted to share this link of, they did one on tips on college success, and they all have a variety of experiences. I don't prep them beforehand or anything. They come up with the questions on their own, and they come up with the content on their own. So I just wanted to share it. It's on YouTube, and they fix the captions as well. And this one, I think it's really good to get insight because I watched it for the first time too, and it's actually really good what they share, the different tips they have. And then I think if you want to share it with your students as well, I highly encourage it too, because I think it may be helpful to hear something from your fellow peer and to know that you're going through it together. So I put the YouTube link in there. And also just look out for the next Blue Table Talk. They'll be doing it about mental and physical health during the pandemic. So the next one will be an interesting one as well. So thank you all.
Great. Got a link on it. Watch it later. Thanks, Roman. Thanks to the students for continuing to be engaged and promote engagement in these difficult times. Someone else?
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year and welcome to KCC's first ever Blue Table Talk. Here you'll be able to gain student perspective, tips, and solutions.
Sorry. I was paying attention, I promise. Okay, are we done? We're shortening these campus Zoom to 30 minutes. That's okay.
Louise, I can make a couple announcements.
Sure, go ahead, Carol.
First of all, I'd like to announce that we'll be starting the Kaya Ulu webinar series again. And on the 25th of this month, Thursday at 5:30, the first one is going to be a follow-up to, the wonderful announcement about the 75th anniversary of this college. And the featured person is going to be our very own Chancellor, who will be telling the history of Kapiolani Community College. And thereafter, several of the webinars over the course of the year will feature other organizations or associations, businesses that are partnering with us who are also celebrating their 75th anniversary. So we'll be coming out with a calendar of who those different groups are and letting you know more about them. And then I was teasing Dave Evans yesterday, because I'm looking for somebody with a broadcaster's voice, because we've looked up some wonderful short little facts about life in 1946, and we're calling it 46 Fun Facts. So I'm looking for somebody who would be willing to do a webinar around that. And that's it for right now.
Thanks, Carol. Yeah, Sheldon and Alfie have good broadcaster voices since they're doing podcasts. That's right.
Okay, that might be a good choice too.
Wait, what do we get voluntold to do?
Talk.
Gotcha.
You're talking about 46 fun facts about the year 1946 when KCC started. Some very interesting things happened in that year.
Okay. Other questions from the group?
Louise?
Yes, Maria.
Okay, I'd like to point out what Jerry has placed in the chat, that the schedule for fall and summer will go live on March 15, and registration is going to be on April 6, starting April 6, just so that everybody knows the timeline.
Yes.
Thank you.
April 5th, Maria, April 5th, Monday.
April 5th, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No worries, thanks.
Thank you.
Also important, Shannon points out, it's a 3-day weekend and it's Valentine's Day. So just saying.
Oh.
Don't forget Valentine's Day. And don't come to work on Monday. We're good. Yes, and it's Lunar New Year because I saw, it was Roman. Roman, you had your virtual background had lunar. It's hard to say Lunar New Year. Lunar New Year. Kung ifachog. Oh God. It's been a long week and it's only Wednesday. Who else would like to share or ask a question? Oh, Sai too, huh? Where I gotta scroll to find Sai. Oh yes, Year of the Ox. Okay, well, I don't hear too many like questions or don't seem to see anybody wanting to make any statements or announcements. So we will call this meeting to order. No, dismiss the meeting. Sorry, end the meeting. Oh, this is not a good day. So it's 1:36 and all is well at Kapi'olani Community College. Be kind and be good to each other. Please look out for your colleagues, your families, all those that care about, and take care of yourselves most of all. Because you know the flight attendants tell you to put your mask on first before you help anybody else. So unmute yourself and say goodbye to your colleagues, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Adios, colleagues. See you next week, Wednesday.